Would you date a girl who used to cam? Did it for about 9 months to pay my rent and bills when I was doing some courses a couple of years ago. Great money, but hated it, so only did it for the shortest time possible. It's in the past, but it's also part of my past.
The beautiful thing is we're all human. This all happens. You can do whatever you want. There's consequences, but do whatever you want. People are going to do what they want to do. 100%. Bottom line.
The baby's crying and the dog's barking. I'm like, you're bad. Welcome to Two Girls, One Thread.
All right, Kath. I have a question for you. What is your most controversial opinion that you have that you genuinely feel is really not that controversial and you're kind of surprised people are not on board?
I think the world would be a better place if we all kept our hands to ourselves. And I don't know, I guess thought twice before we had to vocalize some opinions.
Whoa. Okay, so that is controversial. Zip it and keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah, I think everyone can do whatever they want to do. Just keep your hands to yourself.
Okay, I think that's a great start. I think that would really eliminate a lot of problems.
How about you?
Okay, I had to make a list because first I was like, I don't think I have that many controversial opinions. And then I realized that was delusional. And I think I do actually have a lot of controversial opinions. So here's a couple of them. Okay. I think that if you purchase a Cybertruck, it should automatically trigger a wellness check.
Okay.
I think that mother-son dances, father-daughter dances are creepy and should be banned, which I have expressed. I don't think you should be allowed to recline on an airplane. I think everyone should just maybe everyone's seat is a little bit back, and that's like the standard, but I don't think you should be able to. I think if you're a convicted felon or a proven pedo, you shouldn't be allowed to be president. That one's really controversial, I know. I think everyone is gay until proven otherwise. And I think that if you would only have a child if it was genetically related to you, that you're a narcissist. Those are my controversial opinions.
Wow.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think those are great.
Do you agree with any of them?
Yeah, I think I agree with most of them.
Whoa. Which one don't you agree with? Or don't say it, I'll have to guess. You're like, I was eyeing a really killer Cybertruck wrapped in lavender. Okay, welcome to Two Girls, One Thread. Today we're going to be doing unpopular opinions. I'm very excited to do this specifically with you, KJ, because I famously never know what the fuck you're going to say in any given moment. And that's one of the things I love the most about you. And you're not afraid to say your opinion. Right?
Yeah, just try to keep it real.
You keep it real. You always keep it real. And I respect the hell out of that. So I'm excited to pop off on what the people of Reddit have to say and what they're framing as unpopular opinions.
Me too.
You want to kick us off?
Sounds good. This is from Unpopular Opinion. Shower towels do not need to be washed often.
Oh.
People are overly concerned with washing towels used for drying off after a shower. After showering, you're the cleanest you will be throughout the day, as long as you know how to clean yourself. All you should be doing is wicking water from your body. No dirt should be involved. As long as the towel is hung in a way that is properly ventilated, it should remain clean for a while. I've been told this is gross a few times, but can't understand the logic.
Can't understand the logic? I think bathroom ventilation is not created equally. Yeah, definitely your body should be the cleanest. The disclaimer of if you know how to clean yourself properly, huge disclaimer. Definitely not for everybody. Yeah, I'm in favor of kind of cleaning them pretty much maybe every other. I don't know. It piles up the laundry, but it feels gross. If it doesn't smell like fresh and clean, I'm like, I'm going to get out of the shower and then I'm going to put like a damp, moldy towel energy. I don't know.
I'm with you there.
Right?
I think like a regular cleaning schedule is fine for them.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is regular? Like how often?
Well, it depends. If you have in-unit washer dryer, I think you have the luxury of
Crank it.
Yeah, crank it.
Running 24/7.
I don't know, at least like weekly. Whenever you do laundry,
is great. Yeah.
I just throw it in with the rest of my stuff.
Yeah. I think it's kind of scary to say that they don't understand the logic of why. And also, like, do you live alone? Do you live with other people? Because it's like, if you live, say, like, you know, when I lived with a couple of guys in my early 20s, it's like they would use my shower towels to wipe off their, you know, they'd eat barbecue and they'd be like, well, this towel looks clean. So you never kind of can sleep with, you have to basically sleep with one eye open, I think, when it comes to stuff like that. So I think we're right. And I think that was a layup.
I think so too.
Okay. I've got one from one of my favorite Reddit threads. This is from AskMenAdvice. And shout out, because this thread has really enlightened me so much. This poster says, would you date a girl who used to cam? Did it for about 9 months to pay my rent and bills when I was doing some courses a couple years ago. Great money, but hated it, so only did it for the shortest time possible. It's in the past, but it's also part of my past. I'm single and was single at the time. Dating, it's obviously not something I bring up. I've only told one guy I dated and he didn't care at all, but it is something I'm not necessarily proud of. How would you react if a girl you were seeing told you that it was something she had done in the past? So basically, do you think it's okay to date a girl who used to be a cam girl?
I think to each their own. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wouldn't judge her for that, but I'm also not a man.
Right.
I think men can be a little bit more territorial about that.
Right. Even though they're statistically more likely to be the people that are paying cam girls. Mm-hmm. Don't you think?
Well, and I think the reality of being an OnlyFans creator is most of them, it's not nudity.
Right.
So I don't know how that's different than thirst trapping on Instagram for money, you know?
Well, the difference is if you're thirst trapping on Instagram, most people aren't really getting paid unless they're at like a super high follower count, at which point they probably would just make an OnlyFans so they could like monetize it a little bit easier. But from the comments, it's definitely not a
not a white
topic. Yeah, and people definitely feel some type of way about being with somebody who has a history of being a cam girl. I mean, would it change it for you if the person, well, number one, if it was a guy, what if it was a cam boy? Would you care? Would you date a former cam boy? Man, cam guy?
I don't know.
You're not sure? What if they were actively a cam guy? You go on a first date and they're like, this is what I do. I shake it on a camera.
Probably not.
Probably not for you.
Yeah.
But in general, you don't think that there's something wrong with that?
No, I mean.
Just like a personal pref?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would you date a cam girl?
For sure. Who gives a fuck? That doesn't affect me. Like, get it. That sounds like smart, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, hustling.
Yeah, the hustle is real. I always respect a hard worker. I respect the grind. There is an edit. Damn, lots of opinions. To clarify, as I guess context matters, the content I did was just solo, vanilla, not even any toys. Calls were private half the time. Were guys who just wanted to chat to a pretty girl. See, that's actually kind of interesting because that's where it could get a little bit dicier, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I might...
Or that's her story and she's sticking to it.
Oh, that's her story and she's saying, so you don't believe her? I think she's probably true. I mean, I do think that there's a lot of guys that are just paying for attention and it's not even necessarily sexual. I feel like that would almost weirdly bother me more. Like, if my girlfriend was like talking to some creep for money versus like showing a tit, not even showing her face necessarily. Like, who cares? Get your bag.
Yeah. Another unpopular opinion.
Let's hear it.
Most people do not actually like traveling. They like having traveled. I know this sounds insane because people treat travel like the peak human experience, but a lot of the actual process kind of sucks. Airports are annoying, packing is annoying, sleeping somewhere unfamiliar is annoying, and half the time you are just hot, tired, hungry, and pretending a line for a famous thing is magical. What people really seem to love is the memory of it afterward. The photos, the stories, the feelings that they did something interesting with their life. Which is fine, honestly. I just think there's a big difference between enjoying the trip while it is happening and enjoying the idea of being someone who travels. Obviously, some people genuinely love every part of it, but I think for a lot of us, the highlight is talking about it later with better lighting and no jet lag.
Whoa. Sounds like somebody I wouldn't really want to go on a trip with. The vibes are kind of a bummer. I mean, I do think people prefer people generally like bragging about something more than the actual experience. That part feels accurate. But do you think that that's true? You think that it's just about talking about it later and they don't actually enjoy it?
I would say maybe for Americans, because we seem to be very superficial in the ways that we're high maintenance.
Right.
Everyone goes to Europe and starts complaining about the adapters or the Wi-Fi and like missing their amenity package.
Right.
I don't know. I just think a change of scenery is always so cathartic and grounding in a lot of ways.
Yes.
So
I mean, I think the good outweighs the bad when you're traveling because, yes, airports are annoying, but hopefully you're going somewhere that's really beautiful. You're experiencing other parts of the world, God forbid, getting your head out of your own ass, eating some good food, experiencing other cultures and seeing things, maybe even educating yourself. I know that that is an unpopular opinion. People are very determined to not do that. But I don't think that most people that say they love traveling are just wanting to brag about it after. I think the poster's probably telling on themselves a little bit. Yeah. And that's their right. But I don't think traveling is always fun.
Completely.
For sure. It can be especially brutal if like what's waiting on the other end. You're like, oh God, now I'm going to have to go and, sit through a meal with this person.
There is that one scene from, I think, White Lotus season 2 where the younger girl, they're in Italy and she's looking at like a vignette and wanting to take a photo on her phone. And then she's like, wow, 1 million other people have stood right here and taken this photo. Is this what reality is? It's so depressing. So I do see it from that point of view, but I think that's all the more reason to be present in your own like travel experience.
Yes.
Because it's like we can Google scenic landscape photos of these places. So it's just more about being there.
Yeah, but that's like not the same at all, like going on Google Maps. And if people want to make the argument that that's the same, great. I'll take your plane ticket to Italy and you can go sit in my apartment.
With your Oculus headset.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's not a thing. But also I think maybe an unpopular opinion, I think people just like to be annoyed about stuff and they like to pop off, which is great for us because that's what they're all doing on Reddit. Okay, this is another one of my favorite threads. I think one of your faves too. This is from Reddit thread Gen Z. Shout out to all my Gen Z homies. I pretty much hate all weddings. Is this common amongst our generation? I just really needed to rant about how much I don't like weddings. If it's important, I'm a Gen Z man. I'm really introverted. I've never been in a relationship and I'm very, quote, careful with money. If you know, you know. Anyways, I've pretty much never liked weddings. It's possible that the above info about me has influenced this feeling, but I digress. So here are my main gripes with weddings. Number 1, clothing. Since every wedding I've been to has been semi-formal, I've dreaded having to get dressed for them. I hate wearing suits with all of my being. It's just so uncomfortable regardless of quality. I always say that I feel like a circus animal when I'm forced to wear a suit to any occasion. Number 2, music. The reception after the ceremony is usually centered around music and dancing. Now, I like music as much as the next guy, but I hate it in group settings, and I probably hate dancing just as much. So this means that I end up just sitting at the table on my phone while everyone else is on the dance floor, leaving nothing fun for me to do. Cost. As I mentioned earlier, I don't like spending a lot of money, so weddings would obviously be a nightmare for me. I don't think I've ever been to a wedding that didn't look expensive. I just look around and think, I bet they spent a ridiculous amount of money on this, making the experience less enjoyable for me. Lastly, people. There's just so many people at weddings. See The Office, quote, "We need a new plague scene." Like, I get that weddings are meant for this number of people, but it makes me feel overwhelmed even just as a guest. If I was up at the altar in this situation, I think I would have a panic attack having that many people watching me, seeing me pour out my emotions and waiting for me to screw things up. I just wouldn't be able to take it. There's a few other minor reasons that I won't go into here, but that's the gist of it. I will say, though, that there's usually free food at these weddings, which is practically the only way I can enjoy them. Let me know if you have any of the same complaints that I do, or if I'm just a loner that needlessly hates weddings. So, what do you think?
Weddings. I can empathize with where he's coming from. I do find weddings to be kind of mini pageants in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And especially if you get overwhelmed from like a sensory perspective, I think they can be a lot.
For sure.
I mean, they're beautiful at the end of the day. I do think there's a lot of emotion sentiment. And so I love going to a wedding for that reason. It is like super cute to watch the love story of the two individuals getting married. I do wish people were more mindful, though, of like curating the vibe of a wedding.
Yes.
I don't know if it's like you need an MC or maybe the couple needs to speak more, but I do think it's funny how traditionally the couple won't even speak at their own wedding.
It's odd.
Whereas like everyone's there to see you two, and then you have all these random, you know, other family members speaking. I'd rather hear from the couple directly.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know like what sort of experiential like activities you should have at a wedding to program it a bit more, but
what about the sparkler exits?
that's true.
Come on. What about let's get the couple that's been together for the longest up on the dance floor? What about having the guy digging around under the dress and throwing the little rubber band?
Yeah, that's cute.
That's cute. It's so creepy. I do think it's an interesting point that most of the time that the couple doesn't even speak at their own
It's crazy.
wedding, even to say thank you. But I will say for myself, I kind of feel like as a comic, I'm like, I think it would be so cringe if I picked up a microphone. You know what I mean? So I think like there could be exceptions. Like if you're like a karaoke DJ or a stand-up comedian, maybe you don't have to speak at your own wedding, but everybody else should at least say like, thanks for coming, love you.
Yeah,
you know,
I think so too.
on the mic. Record it live. Like, let's get that filmed. I think like this guy's like points that he made, like they're all valid. Like I totally see where he's coming from, but I know he says Gen Z man, but he sounds like this to me is the post that a 14-year-old boy would write. I don't want to wear a suit. It's itchy. I don't want to dance. The only good part is that there's free food. It's expensive. And it's like, King, we know that you're not giving a good gift. So I don't know how expensive it is for you. We know you're not going to anything that's probably like anything that's not like drivable. And then like, but you're even getting mad looking at how much money other people spent. Why do you fucking care?
Yeah. Then don't go.
Then don't go. And then also but being around a lot of people, that's going to be a hard one to avoid. I would say if this king ever gets married, maybe eloping could be a good option. I do think it's like intimidating to be like under a microscope and then you're like being really earnest, but that's what we all live for. That's what all the crybabies in the audience are living for. We want to see the tears.
I know.
We want to see the emotion. We want to see you say something from the heart. I don't think people are waiting for anyone to screw up. I think they're waiting for, if it's a straight wedding, they're waiting for the guy to cry.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And we're waiting to see the girl's face if the guy doesn't cry because, you know, she's about to walk that shit back because, like, he's not emotional enough. But also, like, what about open bar? That's one of the best things about
that's great.
a wedding. Even though I don't even drink that much, I love an open bar because I'm like, let's fucking go. That's like a fun vibe. I like getting in line behind all the, like, frat bros who are like pounding shots and they like won't serve shots. They have to like figure out workarounds and everybody's kind of acting like they're not even legally able to drink, but they are. It's fun.
Yeah, I think they're great.
That's not the point of weddings, hypothetically, but let me just see this top comment. Then RSVP no to any weddings you're invited to, question mark. I've probably gone to more weddings than the average person my age because I went to a Christian college. If you know, you know, and they're always optional, question mark. My only complaint is that being part of the wedding party has gotten ridiculously expensive. Yeah, that part's tough. But now most people I feel like are not doing wedding parties.
Yeah.
That seems to be kind of the trend. Have you noticed that? I mean, you have your finger on the pulse, right?
Yeah, I think it kind of depends. Probably what age you're getting married to.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, in bachelorette parties are kind of full weekend events, which are a lot. But I mean, the men seem to be fine. It's like an excuse to golf and drink.
The men are chilling.
With the boys. So I think it's just,
The men are having a great time. I don't understand why all men are not getting married. The experience to be a man getting married, to be a groom,
the best.
baby, you're chilling. Everyone tells you how handsome you look because you literally shave and then put on a clean shirt that someone else ironed for you. And I'm always amazed they put their tuxes on so early. And then they're just like eating ribs. They don't have a care in the world.
Oh my God, I know.
They're getting drunk. Everybody's patting them on the back. Good job, good job. If they even like are on the music for even a beat, everyone is like, look at this prince. He's a gentleman. The mom's crying. They get to have their sexy little dance together. What's not to love, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got, KJ?
From Unpopular Opinion. Morning showers make no logical sense, and night shower people have simply done the hygiene math. You spend 8 hours asleep in your own clean bed. What are you washing off at 7 a.m.? A night shower removes everything you actually accumulated during the day. The commute, the gym, the office, public transport, all of it goes down the drain before you sleep.
Wow.
A morning shower means you marinated in all of that overnight, then washed up before going out to collect it all again. Morning showers are a ritual for waking up, which is fine, but it is not hygiene. Night showers are actual hygiene. Most people just do not want to dry their hair before bed, and that is the entire argument.
Wow. I mean, first of all, I love someone with a strong opinion like that about something that ultimately does not affect them at all because they can just choose to shower at night and feel good about it. Number one, sweaty sleepers. Not everybody is crawling into a clean mattress and is like, I don't even know, hairless, sweat-free robot waking up in the morning. Very generous of them, though, to say that people are allowed to do a morning shower to wake up. But what do you think? Do you think that it's a waste? Do you think night showers are the only ones that actually count for hygiene?
I see where they're coming from. Let's see. Top comment says, my hair is fucked up in the morning.
That's real.
Yes, some people sweat when they sleep or get into other kinds of business before going to sleep and don't feel the need to immediately shower. I didn't realize that there's also a trend recently of dark showers.
What's that?
Which is taking a shower like before bed in the dark, though, in your bathroom.
Oh, wow.
It's supposed to help with like
Okay.
cortisol reset, getting you ready for bed. I guess people on TikTok have been popping off about it.
Wow.
So I can see that.
Okay.
I mean, I think in a perfect scenario, maybe you do both.
I think so too. I think so too. It's kind of like brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
I think it's not a bad way to end the day, not a bad way to start the day. If you can do it. I would argue the night shower is more important than the morning one. I do think that it would be gross if this person is commuting and they're on public transit, so they've got God knows where they're working.
I know.
And they're going to work in the office and they're coming home and doing all this stuff. I think it is kind of gross to like do all of that, not shower at all ever, and then wait until until the morning. That feels like
I think so too.
a little bit weird, but no lights on in the shower. I think I don't know. I think I'm not judging because I think no one is doing well right now. So if you need to create like a sensory deprivation tank kind of scenario for yourself, that's fine. That feels like a little dangerous though to me. Like nothing, not even like a little.
They say it's just as good as
candle.
meditating.
Wow. Who says that?
Well,
The
I actually
TikTokers?
read it in the Goop newsletter today.
Oh, okay. Then I'm
And
not
they were
pushing
quoting
back
the
against
TikTok
that.
trend.
Whoa.
So I was like, wow, if it went from TikTok to Goop, that's a pretty big leap.
Wow.
Maybe I should get on board.
Yeah, no, I mean, if it's in the Goop newsletter, like, you have to do it. I've always said that. I would try it. It just doesn't sound that appealing to me. I don't know. It kind of sounds a little scary. This one kind of threw me, honestly. Okay, this is from the Reddit thread Unpopular Opinion. The idea that popular kids were always mean or shallow is a lazy stereotype that needs to go. I keep seeing this narrative online where people say things like, all the popular kids became nurses and are the worst people. We've literally said that. Or talk about how they were secretly bullies. But honestly, that hasn't been true in my experience at all. The people who were considered popular at my school were usually kind, involved, and genuinely active in the community. They were in student leadership, sports, clubs, and they cared about school. That's really what made them popular. It wasn't about being mean or exclusive. They showed up, participated, and made the effort. And for the record, I was never part of that group. I wasn't popular and I didn't hang out with them. But even from the outside, I could see they were friendly and approachable. The real mean behavior I saw more often came from people who didn't take school seriously, constantly slacked off, or seemed to carry a lot of resentment. People who mocked others for trying or who stirred up drama out of boredom. Sometimes the so-called outsiders were just as cliquey and cruel. They just didn't fit the Hollywood version of a bully. Just because someone was well-liked or successful in high school doesn't mean they were a bad person. In a lot of cases, it was the opposite. So what do you think? Do you think that the stereotype that popular kids were always mean or shallow needs to go?
I think everyone has a tough time in high school.
I think so, to some extent.
Yeah.
But there's definitely people that are having a tougher time.
Yeah,
than
no,
others.
absolutely. I do know a lot of former cheerleaders who became nurses. I don't understand that nurse pipeline. Like when we...
Well, I'm just laughing because, like, I know a lot of nurses who are very sweet. I have people from my personal life that are nurses and are, like, some of the sweetest people in the world. And then I've got a couple of examples of nurses in my life that are damn scary as hell.
Yeah.
And so the stereotype does kind of hold up a little bit. I just think it's funny in the year 2026 to have this be your hot take that you're like, you know what? I'm going to go on Reddit and defend the popular girls and the popular guys and say, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of Hollywood trying to paint these guys as nasty and shallow. They were some of the most involved people in our community. It's like, so pick me. Like, what jock from your high school did you see at a reunion and you're trying to, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's like weird. It's just like a weird thing to really try to double down on.
That's so funny.
But I don't think it's true. I do think that most popular kids, I disagree.
You think they're bratty?
I think most of the popular kids, if you're thinking of the Hollywood definition.
Yeah. I mean, probably more
we're not.
self-absorbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not typically, I don't think that the kids that were so involved and had a great attitude were rewarded and like, oh, I was scared to approach them because they seem so kind. That is not reality. And then the outsiders seeming more cliquey and whatever, it's like, I don't think that's true either. I think like if you've been excluded from the majority of people and then you find a couple of people that you actually can align with, like you're just trying to survive.
Yeah. Well, it's also similar to the hot girl, like now as an adult who talks about how she was relentlessly bullied when she was younger. Like we do empathize, but
of course
you turn out hot, so it's okay.
Yeah.
You know,
and
like you don't need to make yourself feel more relatable by talking about being like, oh, I'm a supermodel now, but I was bullied because I was so skinny when I was younger.
Yeah. And
it's
everyone was just always like, skinny, pretty girl, you should be a model. Like that's not life. There were always like a couple of popular kids that were like super nice and were kind of the very like likable. But I think that in general, when people get like a little bit of power, they're more concerned with, in what I've experienced anecdotally, like in the school environment, they're more concerned with keeping people down and under them than they are trying to bring people up alongside them.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. I'm just like really curious, like what motivated this person to write, like to really get into this is a lazy stereotype. I don't know. It's just kind of funny. But okay, let me just give you the top comment here. I think it all depends on the school, the region, economic status, and the time period. I grew up in the 80s in a wealthy town and went to a high school with about 1,200 kids. The popular kids were athletes, smart and rich, and mean. They had nice cars, cocaine, and lots of sex between the cheerleaders and football players. They were brutal in their bullying. Sorry, I'm not laughing at that. They went to good universities because of their parents, and now they're very wealthy as well. However, my son's in high school now in a small town. The popular kids are very nice to everyone. Different experiences for everyone. Each school and grade is different depending on which kids are in it. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, it's probably school by school a little bit.
Yeah, it sounds like this commenter went to school with the Brat Pack.
I know.
Like, what? I don't remember if you... I mean, I'm sure I know there are people like at like our high school and in high school in general that were like doing coke and stuff, but I don't remember it being so like a scene from Grease where they're just doing blow and the cheerleaders and the football players are fucking and like definitely not now. I don't think that those are the cool
I don't
people.
think so.
Because like now people don't even let their kids play football because of like traumatic brain injuries and stuff. And that got real.
From Unpopular Opinion. Disney is honestly miserable.
Oh, shit.
I've been to Disneyland and Disney World once each as a kid, so this isn't coming from someone who has never experienced it. I did it. I checked the box, and I have absolutely zero desire to ever go back.
Whoa.
All I remember is brutal heat, massive crowds everywhere, and spending half the day standing in lines. Lines for rides, lines for food, lines for buses, lines for bathrooms. You're packed shoulder to shoulder with thousands of other people while paying a small fortune for the privilege. And somehow adults seem even more obsessed with it than kids. I'll never fully understand Disney adult culture. Enjoying the movies you grew up with is normal, but the level of devotion some people have to this massive corporation is wild to me. People spend thousands of dollars every year to go back to the exact same crowded park. What really gets me is how people act like Disney is the ultimate childhood experience. For the same amount of money, you could take kids to national parks, beaches, historical cities, museums, wildlife tours, or even travel internationally and show them the world. Instead, people choose a packed theme park where it's 90 degrees, everything costs a fortune, and you spend most of your vacation waiting in line. Kids don't need Disney to have magical memories. There are so many more meaningful, interesting, and affordable ways to create them, and somehow it's called the most magical place on earth. Yet if by magic you mean standing in 90-degree heat with 50,000 strangers while paying $15 for a pretzel, I just genuinely don't understand why it's treated like the pinnacle of vacations.
Okay, Grandpa, let's get you back to bed. How many times are they going to say waiting in line and unbearable heat and waiting in line and unbearable heat? I see their points. It is very expensive to go to Disney. The lines are long. The heat is uncomfortable. There's certainly, I would argue, more magical places in the world. But I don't think that you need to hate so hard. I don't think it's hurting anybody. I think you just don't have to go. Why do you give a shit if somebody's a Disney adult?
It is very American.
It's, of course, it's so embarrassing and it's so American, but like, why do you care? Then you don't have to go. Then you could take your kids, oh, everybody else is going to Disney this summer. We're going to historic Gettysburg. Like, I mean, I just think just don't go. You don't need to like hate on people. I think it makes a lot of sense why people love it. They love going on rides. They've read these books and watched these movies since they were a little kid. It's attached to memories and nostalgia of like probably maybe a simpler, better time in their life and maybe like a more hopeful thing. Maybe because when you look around outside of Disney, it's a fucking hellscape. So they'd rather be distracted by a $15 pretzel.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm not a Disney adult. I've been once as an adult, I think. And I feel like it was like fun. I think I didn't have like a huge expectations or anything like that. But also like people want to take their kids to make them happy. That's also why they take them to Disney. Because most like little kids are more into Disney than being like, do you know any libraries around the world that I could see? Like they're not doing that. So just chill, daddy.
Yeah. Or going to Europe and doing like a church tour.
Oh my God.
So many churches to see in Europe.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I would love to go on a church tour with my kids
we
in
did
Europe.
one and done when we were kids. I think that's...
You went once?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's plenty. I could see like doing the same with future children. I don't need to do an annual pilgrimage.
No.
Yeah.
I definitely don't need to do that. I think there are more interesting places that I personally would want to go to, but do I care if someone wants to go to Disney every weekend or every year? No, I do not give a shit. I think that is such a harmless activity.
Let me see if there's any interesting comment.
People are probably pissed.
Let's see. Took the kids there when they were around 6 and 8, spent thousands on flights, hotel food, etc. Later, we were driving to another part of Florida and asked what they enjoyed most, and they said the pool at the hotel. Could have gone to the local water park and saved a ton.
I mean, that is true. Okay, is this an unpopular opinion? I think that don't plan something fun like a vacation if the whole time you're just going to complain about how expensive it is, because you literally remove all of the fun from it. It's like, let me take you out to dinner, and then, oh God, the drinks are so expensive. Then don't take me. Like, you're killing the vibe. Yeah. That's the biggest
Do you
issue.
like rides?
I like them a little bit. I like water parks.
I mean, I loved rides when I was younger.
Yeah.
Now I just feel like it feels very motion sicknessy to me.
Yeah.
I don't need to be spun around.
Yeah, I think that now because I have a sense of my own mortality, I'm less interested in them. I liked them like up through high school and stuff like that. Like I think it's fun, but it's not where I go to get my kicks, you know?
I think so too.
For me, it's all about those church tours of Europe. Okay, this is from the Red Thread Unpopular Opinion. Telling your partner information revealed to you in confidence is a betrayal. If I tell a friend something in confidence, I expect it to stay between the two of us, not the two of us and their partner. If I found out that a friend had told their partner something I explicitly told them not to share, I would view that as a profound betrayal. This extends to information that wasn't explicitly told in confidence, but is clearly sensitive, although I could get over that more easily. The reason I think this is unpopular is that a lot of people take the idea of, quote, no secrets in a relationship to mean that they cannot tell their partner, sorry, I can't talk about this to you because it was told to me in confidence. Personally, I find this strange, and I would not be with a person who doesn't understand that I can't tell them other people's secrets. Not sharing things told to you in confidence is a basic tenet of our society, and I don't think being in a relationship gives you carte blanche to break that bond of trust. That's not the point of this post, though, and I think that it's perfectly acceptable to tell someone, hey, don't share this with me if you don't want my partner to know about it. If the person keeps telling you, that's implicit consent to tell your partner. Finally, this only applies to information which is not relevant to the partner. If I confess to a close friend that I'm in love with them, I cannot expect them to keep that from their partner. It pertains to their relationship, and keeping a secret would be a breach of trust. However, if I tell them that I'm struggling with depression and ask them not to tell anyone, I think I'm entitled to their discretion. Ooh. What do you think, AJ?
I think everyone is a bit of a gossip. And so people tell their partner, like, they're not going to necessarily broadcast your secret to a third party, but they still kind of want to get it out and say to someone aloud. So they probably do tell their partner. I would assume it's kind of an open forum in terms of between partners. So
if you're sharing something with a close friend, you are essentially assuming that they will, and if they're like in a, if they're married, if they're in just like a committed partnership, if they're just dating somebody.
Well, I think there's like, it kind of just depends friend by friend. There's some information that you tell a friend that like their partner wouldn't care to know, so they wouldn't go and repeat it back. Yeah. And there's certain friends that you have that you know wouldn't say anything. Yeah. But there's others who might.
Right. Yeah, I do think, like, I thought that this poster made a lot of really good points. Like, I actually really like how they broke it down, especially their example at the end. Like, if I tell a friend, like, I'm struggling with depression, please keep that between you and I. Especially if you say to your friend, please keep this between you and I, and then they tell their partner anyway, that's 100% a breach of trust. Yeah. But I do think, I think a couple of things. One, I think in general, assume that they will. Like for most couples, it does. I feel like especially like people our age and stuff, it's like you do just kind of assume, or it's like you call somebody and like there's people that don't even tell me I'm on speaker and their boyfriend or their husband is listening the entire time and I'm just popping off. And then it's like, oh, hey, John, like that's fucked up. Yeah. But it does kind of like depend, because I also am friends with couples where I'm friends with both of them, and like I want them both on the phone at the same time, or like I do assume, or sometimes I'll even tell my friend, make sure you tell your boo that this happened, because they're not going to believe this tea. So I think it does depend, but like in general, like with my friends, I will just say explicitly like this is between you and us, and then I wouldn't be friends with somebody that I didn't believe could honor that, But I think I'm more on the side of I'm not like just sharing things. I don't automatically share. I don't think it's communal information. Like if you tell me something, I'm not like, oh, and that means that.
I agree as well. Well, and I think a lot of it can be somewhat Casual. If someone says like, how was your day? Oh, I got lunch with Kara. Oh, how is she? And then
Right,
sometimes
right.
people just let that spill.
Right.
But yes, I don't feel the need to like broadcast someone's news at all.
Yeah, and in general though, it's like, oh, how was lunch? Like, what's going on with them? Like that does feel communal. Like that doesn't feel like a secret. But to me, it's the distinction of someone specifically saying, please do not share this. Then I think it's a betrayal.
Yeah.
But I do think it is weird that there's kind of this like weird codependent vibe with a lot of people. And I think a lot of that, this is not meant to be shade, but I think a lot of that is like, unfortunately, like men sometimes don't have as many friends. And so, which is sad. And I don't feel that bad, but I do feel a little bit bad. And it's kind of like, I think they rely on like in straight couples, like the socialization of their female partner to even like, they like it and they don't have maybe an outlet for it. And their closest outlet would be like calling a mom or an aunt, but they don't necessarily want to do that because then that's down a whole rabbit hole. So then they get excited about hearing about the girls. They don't give a shit, you know? But I just thought, and I definitely agree that if your friend tells you that I'm in love with you, you would have to tell your partner because that would change the dynamics. Okay, but top comment, I think the nature of information is important. If I tell my best friend something and I ask him not to share, but it's important okay, sorry, let me try that again. I just short-circuited. If I tell my best friend something and ask him not to share it, but it's information about something at work, we've worked together for decades, I don't care if he tells his wife. His wife's not going to care either, honey. He knows who I didn't want him sharing that info with. If it's something his wife may care about or even have an opinion on, and I ask him not to share it, he won't. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you can't trust your friends, like, you're pretty much fucked. Like, what do you have at that point, you know? And as you know, and I think you agree with, but tell me if you don't, obviously, I feel like people do need to have, like, more secrets, you know? Like, plan some surprises, like, introduce some novelty. Like,
I think so, too.
Don't tell everything right away. Like, that way you have something to kind of talk about at different points. But that's more of a general note. Note for the poster.
People who close, this is from Unpopular Opinion again. People who close window blinds on airplanes have lost the joy of living. By default, you should keep the window shades open so your rowmates can see out the window in the miracle of human flight.
Wow.
People can request it closed if they want to nap, and it can be lowered if the glare is intense, but otherwise I judge the heck out of you for closing the blind, for ignoring how cool it is to look out the window in an airplane.
That's a really sweet, unpopular opinion. If you close those blinds, I'm judging the heck out of you. Yeah, I think that, what did they say? Lost their joy in life or the will to live?
The joy of living.
The joy of living. That feels a little bit dramatic, you know, especially if you're like flying all the time. I mean, this poster, it's like, maybe if it's very novel to you, but otherwise, like, I'm not doing shrooms every day. So I don't think I'm going to be so in touch with the miracle of flight every single time. But yeah, if the people in my row are like bricked up and want to see out the window, throw the shade open, let them see.
I'm a big takeoff and landing. I can play games and play ball and keep the shade up. But there is something frustrating to me with the daytime flight, how the person has the shade open the whole time. It's like, we've seen clouds for 4 hours. We can put the shade down. I'm trying to watch something on my phone. It's now creating a glare. But I'm not I'm not the type of person who upon landing, I'm going to keep it down. Because I know it's always, you know, the looky-loos who want to bend it and see the city as we're coming in. So that's nice. Like, I can participate then. But otherwise, after about 20 minutes of clouds, we get it. Like, put the shade down.
Yeah, I think it's nice that you'll play ball and then you're like, and now I got to get back to my program. I think that person should just always request a window seat.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think that kind of might be
just be the shade monitor.
Be the shade monitor. This is also from Unpopular Opinion. Hotels are far more convenient than Airbnbs. Hotels offer much higher customer service and convenience than most Airbnbs. Some hosts think they're doing us a favor that we have to pay for living in their property. Sure, some houses are built amazing with breathtaking views, but come on. The restrictions and responsibilities and tantrums of the hosts. I'm on a vacation to relax, not take up another responsibility. I'll clean after myself, I get it, but most hosts take it too far. If you're so concerned about someone ruining your property, you should not rent it out to complete strangers in the first place. Who wrote this? Paris Hilton's dad. What do you think?
I'm hotels all the way.
Hotels all the way?
Yeah. I just like the sterility of a hotel. I don't know. Airbnbs, I can't.
You can't deal?
Yeah, I can't deal.
I think that, in general, I'm probably more hotel than Airbnb. Weirdly, I think after COVID, the Airbnb hosts got crazy. Honey, I'm not paying more to stay in your shitty apartment than I am to stay at like a Marriott down the street. Like, in what planet would that make any sense? But this part made me laugh. Some hosts think they're doing us a favor that we have to pay for living in their property. What do you think, that they should just open up their home for free? Like, obviously you're going to have to pay, but I do think hotels are definitely more convenient. For sure, because they are.
And I feel
built
like
for
sometimes
that.
if your travel plans change, the hotel has more flexibility.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. The Airbnb hosts have definitely gotten a little bit out of control when they want you to do everything. Like take the trash out. Sure. Load the dishwasher. Okay. But now when we start getting into strip all the beds and then do this and then make sure you're cleaning this and like squeegee that, and it's like, but then you're also charging like a $400 cleaning fee. You can't have it both ways, King.
Yeah.
I think that's where it gets a little bit tricky. But hotels are on watch as far as I'm concerned, because I don't know what I'm paying for when the check-in is 5 p.m. and then the checkout time is 10 a.m. So is this like an hourly like sex motel? Like, I don't understand. Where did all the service go? Right, KJ?
This is from Unpopular Opinion. If you want to marry, culinary compatibility is one of the top 3 things to consider.
What?
If you only like Japanese food and your spouse only likes Lebanese food, life is going to be tough. Enjoying food together is one of the fundamentals of relationships, and lacking that is even a bigger barrier than mismatched libidos.
Okay. Honey, that's a bad take. That is a bad take. Not liking the same kind of food is a bigger barrier than mismatched libidos. Honey, come on. I don't know anyone who only eats Japanese food or only eats Lebanese food. So I guess I haven't encountered that. What do you think though, Kath?
I don't think so. We're all adults. We can make our own food. Let's see, top comments. I think religion, wanting kids, career priorities, financial expectations, and sex life expectations all take precedence over this.
Yes.
So yeah, I'd agree. Unpopular opinion. I'm a huge...
I agree.
I'm a huge foodie and would not want to marry someone who's a picky eater, so I do feel you. Someone goes on, yeah, I'm vegan and my boyfriend isn't. Plus, we like totally different flavors, so we mostly cook our own stuff. It works for us. He's worth it to me for all his other qualities. Luckily, he feels the same way.
Yeah, definitely not a deal breaker and definitely not in my top 3. I don't even think it would be in my top 10. But it would be annoying. A vegan, non-vegan couple, that would be annoying.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or like someone that's super picky with a chef. Yes, that would be annoying. Do I think that is more important than your opinions on, your politics and religion, if you want to have kids, and how you feel about handling conflict and sex? No, I don't. But
yeah, I think people are going to eat what they want to eat. So even if you're a healthy eater and your partner isn't,
that's going to be tricky though.
Yeah, you'll both likely do your own thing though.
But I get why that could be like lonely after a while. Like I don't think it would be ideal to be with somebody who there's no overlap of what you enjoy, and then okay, great, like we're just cooking in shifts or something. But yeah, I mean, I'm a pasta, pizza, girly, steak and potatoes all the way. So like I don't think I would ever be with like a vegan who is like going to think that I'm, sinning or a gluttonous pig. Yeah, even if that's true. I don't want my partner to think that about me, even if I am a sinner and a gluttonous pig, I think that that's a fair expectation in a relationship. Okay, this one I do think is controversial in our day and age, unfortunately. Okay, unpopular opinion. You actually do owe people things. I feel like so many people these days, especially my generation, are absolutely unhinged with the hyper individualism and the I don't owe anything. Like, sure, protect your peace, but you do owe people things. If you're someone's friend, you do owe them time and effort and text back and empathy. You owe the public general respect. You owe your partners time and energy and commitment and reassurance. You owe people who support you gratitude and thanks. This whole cynical ass self-centered mentality is a bunch of BS. Internet therapy speak is ruining us all. What do you think?
I agree. I think it feels good to be wanted and like to bring value to other people. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that.
Me too. Yeah, I mean, I'm in full agreement. I think that people are so fucking selfish and yes, you do have to take care of yourself. That is your job. Like, number one, you got to take care of yourself. Great. But we are not living in isolation, and you can't just like move through the world terrorizing everyone. I think that, it has gone too far. I think that the internet therapy talk is like being weaponized.
Well, I feel like you have that great bit in one of your stand-ups about how LA or just in general, there's a lot of reformed people pleasers.
Yes. Well, self-identifying reformed people
and
pleasers.
how no is a complete sentence.
Yeah. I think that, I just think that, people do go too far with it. And like, I think what's weird is that a lot of people have taken it so far that they don't even feel guilty when they're being a bad person or when they're being a bad friend, because if they can justify it as, well, I'm protecting my peace, well, I'm taking care of myself, well, that doesn't feel good to me and my therapist, and and I'm empowered, and it's like, okay, like whatever you need to tell yourself, but we do live in community.
Yeah, in a tribe.
Yeah, and I feel like, I'm guilty of like, I'm sure I've said it too. I've definitely said it to other friends where like, I'll be really upset or like actually like need a friend. And then I'm like apologizing 90% of the time and then like asking for support 10% of the time. And then usually my friends who are all so kind are just like, you don't need to like apologize. It's called being a friend. And when my friends do that too, and I'm sorry, I've just been like venting or I'm just complaining. It's like, that's what friends are for. You can't do that to your boss because you'll get fired and then you won't be able to pay your mortgage. So I'm happy to be there for you.
Yeah.
Do you think we owe people just a random stranger? Like, what do you think that we owe just people being in society?
Yeah, I think, similar to keeping your hands to yourself, just being kind to people or like leading with a bit of empathy. But even in terms of friends, I think I kind of sometimes do get disappointed in the way that friends judge other friends.
Yeah.
And I do think as friends, we're supposed to accept each other for who we are.
Yes.
And not judge one another based on our actions or anything like that.
Right.
Be able to just like unconditionally support one another.
Yeah, because you're being judged by everyone else. You're judging yourself. It's supposed to be a reprieve when you're with your friends or when you're with your partner. You're supposed to be a shelter from the world, us against them, not coming home and being like, well, why did you say that then? Or why did you do that then? Why am I here? Why am I in hell? I thought I was coming inside to get away from all that shit. But yeah, I think a little kindness goes a long way.
Yeah, I think so too. And life can be lonely, so it's nice to like connect with people at a little bit of deeper of a level.
Yeah, and doesn't that make you feel good too, even if you are one of these selfish pricks? Try it sometime. But if you actually help someone else. Let me see if I can pick a closer here from famously Reddit Unpopular Opinion. Getting married young isn't bad. People always say, you're not mature, you'll change so much, but you change throughout your whole life. It doesn't just stop. Loving someone and getting married young means you build a life together. I don't care if people choose to get married later, but I feel like bringing up the talking point of you'll change so much and you don't know what you want is irrelevant. You grow together in a marriage, and if you're worried about missing out on not hooking up or whatever, then you're missing the point of marriage. You'll change your whole life as long as you don't let your marriage define your whole life and still chase your own goals. Getting married young shouldn't matter. And if you personally disagree, you should not judge people for getting married young. The divorce rate is stupid as well because even older marriages have a high divorce rate. What do you think? Getting married young, is it bad?
No, I don't think so.
How young?
25.
Okay. But like there's parts of the country and the world where that would be
I think
considered
there's
old.
like a lot of truth to growing with the person.
Yeah.
And I think if sometimes we all have our own internal rates of growth.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you're not going to work out, if you're both going to grow at different paces or one person isn't as inclined to grow, that will inevitably happen regardless of when you get married.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's super special to have someone to share a lot of those memories with.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be really nice. I'm glad you said 25, because like high school sweetheart, shotgun wedding right after, that just feels like it would be hard. It's not necessarily judging that decision. That just feels like that would be challenging. And I think that you need to feel solid. It's not as much about age because there's people that are 75 or people that never get to this point. And then there's people that have been at this point since they were, 12. But I think like if you don't solidly know yourself and love yourself and have your own identity and goals and dreams and things that are important to you, then I think you're more at risk of like becoming too enmeshed, and that could stifle some of the beautiful growth and blossoming that would naturally occur over time. So I feel like it's that part more, because I think like if you do get married, it's in a lot of marriages, like it's things just become more together, which makes sense, and you can help each other grow and all these things. But if you have like a weak maybe inner constitution, then you could kind of get overshadowed or have somebody kind of like dominate and tell you what to think.
Yeah.
Or that kind of thing can happen. So if there's like an imbalance like that, but I think you can help people grow. I think like the idea though that you have to be like perfectly self-actualized and have it all figured out before you can be, in a healthy relationship or married is also bullshit. 'Cause it's like we have to have people love us as we learn to love ourselves. So there is a trade-off.
Yeah, I think so too. And there's obviously a lot of experience that can come from relationships not working out.
Yeah.
But I do think a lot of personal growth can come from, losing a loved one, losing a parent. And so sometimes it's nice to have someone in your corner at least for those
sure.
experiences.
For sure. But I do think like everything, it's a case-by-case basis, because I think that there's plenty of people that get married at 25 and it is the right person, and they know, and they go through a lot of shit, and that's so beautiful. And then there's people where that would absolutely not be the right move for them. As someone who did get married when they were 24, famously to a man, shout out. And that was weird. Let's just name it. That was weird. In my circle, I got married like 10 years ahead of pretty much everyone else. But now as we're coming back around, it's interesting how it's all kind of ebbed and flowed. But ironically, I don't think I would have realized this big truth about myself, being that I was gay, had I not been in a very like loving and supportive and stable relationship and gotten married when I was 24. So it's like, I know that wasn't the point, but that was, a beautiful takeaway.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
Calling being a lesbian a beautiful takeaway. But yeah, I feel like people in my life were supportive of it because of a lot of reasons, just personal to me. But I think that it was kind of markedly weird.
Yeah, and I think relationships are going to be a lot of work regardless of when you get married. So
100%.
But it is super cute when you see couples who've been together 50 years.
Right.
Yeah.
It does seem like more old-timey though, right? Like it's definitely not as much in the norm. Like it is more going against the grain. Like now, I mean, especially in LA, it's like if you have like you get married before you're 40, people are like, okay, your husband should be on the registry. This is like weird. Like you're having a kid before you're 60. Like, but we obviously live in a bizarre city. But
yeah, so I think if you find someone your values are aligned enough, you guys like each other as friends, why not?
Yeah, if you like each other as friends, that could ultimately be huge. Just make sure that one of you doesn't only like eating Japanese food and the other one only likes eating Lebanese food. And like maybe that you've like experienced the world as an individual, not just like in a family and then straight into getting married. Maybe that could also be helpful.
Yeah.
One solo trip to Disney.
Once you start traveling together as a couple, write in with your travel stories.
Yes, please. And we know that that's where it starts to get really scary. That's where it starts to get really scary. But I hope that we helped some of these people and made them feel popular, because we almost agreed with like most of the unpopular opinions. I think that's the app.